Hey friends, welcome to the channel. In this video we'll be exploring the captivating distinction between dialects and languages. Get ready to unravel the complexities and uncover the fascinating nuances that shape our linguistic world. Los geht's! My name is Dustin. I'm an IT project manager from Germany. On this channel we create content that helps us to be more productive, to learn new things, especially languages, and to live a happier and more fulfilling life. Since I'm a big fan of Italian and have already spent hundreds of hours learning it, I've already asked myself the question many times what the difference between a dialect and a language actually is. Since in Italy there are many dialects, or are those actually languages? So this video is about finding that out, and spoiler alert, it's not that easy. But before we start, as always, let's have a nice sip of coffee. Let's go. So first of all, what is a language? A language is a complex system of communication that allows humans to express their thoughts, emotions, and ideas through a set of structured symbols, sounds, and grammar. It serves as a vehicle for meaningful interactions, enabling individuals to convey information, share knowledge, and engage in social interactions. Languages are not just a collection of words, they embody the cultural identity, history, and values of a community, reflecting the unique perspectives and experiences of its speakers. Languages have evolved over centuries, adapting to the needs and experiences of the communities that use them. They are characterized by their own unique vocabulary, grammar, syntax, and phonetics. Beyond the mere exchange of information, languages enable individuals to express their creativity, preserve their cultural heritage, and shape their identity. They provide a framework for storytelling, literature, poetry, and scientific discourse, allowing for the transmission of knowledge and the exploration of new ideas. A dialect, on the other hand, can be defined as a specific form or variation of a language that is spoken by a particular group of people within a larger linguistic community. Dialects are characterized by several key features. First, vocabulary. Dialects often have unique words or phrases that differ from the standard language. These vocabulary differences can be influenced by local culture, history, or also regional experiences. Second, pronunciation. Dialects may exhibit distinct pronunciation patterns, including variations in speech sounds, accents, intonation, and rhythm. These differences in pronunciation can sometimes be a defining feature of a particular dialect. Third, grammar and syntax. Dialects can have specific grammatical rules and structures that differ from the standard language. These variations can include differences in verb conjugation, word order, or the use of certain grammatical forms. Fourth, idiomatic expressions. Dialects often have their own set of idiomatic expressions, proverbs, or colloquialisms that reflect the unique cultural and linguistic heritage of a specific region or community. What distinguishes dialects from separate languages is a matter of debate and can be influenced by various factors, including politics, history, and mutual intelligibility. Generally, dialects are considered variations of a single language and are mutually understandable to some degree, especially if they are geographically close. However, when dialect differences become more significant with reduced mutual intelligibility, they can be classified as distinct languages. Also, real dialects normally share the same written standard language. This means also that we can adapt to the standard language and soften our dialect to become closer to that. But not everybody can do that, especially elderly or people who live very remote might face problems there. Last but not least, the distinction between dialects and languages can be subjective and is often influenced by social-political factors. Often languages are called after their country and are, despite their differences, very close and could be considered as dialects. And once that happens, often the language changes and becomes different. Kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Or in programming terms, they fork off. Or the other way around, a dialect can be a proper language, but isn't recognized by the country as a proper language, while linguistically speaking, it actually is. I really like this quote when it comes to the whole topic. A language is a dialect with an army and a navy, by Max Weinreich. So yeah, this describes that very well. Enough theory, let's bring up some examples now. Let's show what I mean and why it's so complicated in real life. Now let's delve into the fascinating case of Italy, where dialects play a significant role in the linguistic landscape. Italy is known for its rich tapestry of regional dialects, each with its own unique characteristics. Interestingly, one of these dialects eventually became the basis for the Italian language we know today. In the late 19th century, Italy was a newly unified country seeking to establish a national identity. At that time, the majority of the population spoke various dialects that differed significantly from one another. It was clear that a common language was needed to facilitate communication and foster unity among the diverse regions. Italian scholar and politician Alessandro Manzoni recognized the importance of choosing a dialect as the foundation for a standardized Italian language. He selected the Florentine dialect, primarily spoken in Tuscany, as the model due to its historical significance and cultural prestige. Manzoni's decision was driven by political and cultural considerations. The Florentine dialect had strong ties to the Italian Renaissance and was associated with renowned literary works such as Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy and other works. By adopting this dialect as the standard, it elevated the status of Tuscany and the Florentine region within the newly formed nation. However, it's important to note that the so-called dialects in Italy, such as Sicilian, Venetian or Neapolitan, and others, are linguistically distinct and often have their own grammatical rules and vocabulary. According to the official linguistic definition, these variations could be considered as separate languages, all deriving from Latin, same as modern-day Italian. Despite meeting the criteria to be classified as languages, these regional varieties were downgraded to the status of dialects due to political reasons. This decision was primarily influenced by the desire to promote a unified Italian identity and establish a standardized language accessible to all Italians. However, it's crucial to recognize the rich cultural heritage and linguistic diversity embedded within these dialects. They serve as essential markers of regional identity, carrying centuries of traditions, literature and local expressions that are distinct from the standardized Italian language. Let's now turn our attention to the neighboring countries of the Netherlands and Germany, where we find two distinct languages, Dutch and German. While these languages may share some similarities due to their historical and geographical proximity, they are indeed separate languages with distinct characteristics. Dutch and German belong to the West Germanic language family, which also includes English. However, they have evolved independently over the centuries, leading to significant differences in vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar. One of the key differences between Dutch and German lies in their pronunciation. Dutch has its own distinct sound patterns and phonetics, including unique vowel sounds and intonation patterns.
Scheveningen. Did you hear that? Scheveningen.
Another notable difference is the vocabulary. While there are shared words and cognates between Dutch and German, each language has developed its own lexicon and expressions specific to its cultural and historical context. And this divergence in vocabulary contributes to the distinct identity of each language. Additionally, the grammatical structures of Dutch and German exhibit significant differences. Dutch has a simpler grammatical system compared to German, with fewer inflections and a less complex word order. The historical and political developments of the Netherlands and Germany have also played a role in shaping the distinct identities of Dutch and German. And today Dutch is the official language of the Netherlands, while German is the official language of Germany. Both languages have their own standard varieties used in education, administration, media and literature. And it's important to note that while Dutch and German may have similarities, considering them as mere dialects of the same language would undermine their distinct linguistic features and cultural significance. Let's now explore the relationship between Dutch, Flemish and Afrikaans. While these language varieties are closely related, there are distinctions that categorize Afrikaans and Dutch as separate languages, while Flemish is often considered an accent of Dutch. Dutch spoken in the Netherlands and parts of Belgium is considered the standard variety of the language. It is the official language in the Netherlands and one of the official languages in Belgium. Flemish, on the other hand, refers to the variety of the Dutch language spoken in Flanders, the Dutch-speaking region in Belgium. Flemish shares many similarities with Dutch, including vocabulary, grammar and pronunciation. However, it is often referred to as an accent of Dutch rather than a separate language, but it depends on who you ask. The distinction between Dutch and Flemish is primarily a socio-linguistic and cultural one. The term Flemish is used to denote the regional variant of Dutch spoken in Flanders, which has its own unique characteristics and also cultural expressions. While Flemish and Dutch may have some regional variations such as accent, vocabulary differences, they are generally mutually intelligible, allowing speakers of both varieties to understand each other. Afrikaans, on the other hand, is a language derived from Dutch that developed independently in South Africa. It has also its own distinct vocabulary, grammar and pronunciation, and all these differences together have led linguistics to consider Afrikaans as a separate language rather than a dialect of Dutch. And the distinction between Afrikaans and Dutch is further reinforced by the fact that Afrikaans developed its own standardized form and is recognized as an official language in South Africa and Namibia. While Dutch, Flemish and Afrikaans share historical and linguistic connections, the recognition of Afrikaans as a separate language and Flemish as an accent of Dutch reflects the cultural, political and linguistic dynamics of their respective regions. And it also shows how a language can evolve and change over time, especially if there are also political, cultural and geographical reasons. In conclusion, the distinction between dialects and languages is a complex and subjective matter, influenced by various factors. While there are official definitions and linguistic criteria, political, cultural and historical aspects often blur the lines. Dialects are vital expressions of linguistic diversity, reflecting unique identities and cultural heritage. Recognizing and appreciating their value is crucial, as is acknowledging and respecting languages as distinct entities. By embracing and celebrating dialects and languages, we foster cultural diversity and create a more inclusive society. Let us explore their intricacies, advocate for proper language recognition, and embrace the richness they bring to our linguistic tapestry. Please let me know if you are interested in more videos about history of specific languages and dialects, because I myself really like to learn more about that. And by making those videos, I'm also broadening my horizon and get new perspectives on the world. Last but not least, if you found the video useful, please leave me a like and a subscription to the channel. And to not miss anything going forward, click on the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching and see you the next time.